Welcome to a new ATFX video. My name is Gonzalo Canete, and if you click in this video, it's because you're interested to see what exactly is the effect that Donald Trump tariffs, the Donald Trump trade war is provoking on the global markets, in particular on gold, on Nasdaq 100 and on SP 500. We're gonna see the key levels, the price, the charts, and all the technical view and perspective. But before, we're gonna give to you a whole chronology about how exactly this started and how it's going so far. We also gonna analyze the effect of TACO, T-A-C-O, that Wall Street is now mentioned by that time, which is one of the things we're gonna explain during the video. Now, before we start with the explanation of all details, clean and clear, please click on the subscription button. Click also on the bell to receive notifications anytime we update new market updates, and you will keep yourself well updated about what is going on in the market. Let me go to the presentation as usual, and you will see right now the trade war and Wall Street view, a Wall Street view of the trade war and how it's going. Let me make the screen bigger. So we start with the chronology. On 13th of February is when the first time Donald Trump mentioned that he was about to apply reciprocal tariffs. And the terms of reciprocal was criticized by media in general terms. But the truth is, if we analyze in detail how exactly is working right now the tariffs worldwide, we will find out, for example, countries or economical areas like European Union were applying since 2019 32% of tariffs on dairy products and agricultural products from the United States. So at some point we could accept or understand that what Donald Trump called reciprocal tariffs, it was basically something they estimate between what was the trade balance on the United States with the rest of the countries, what it was the deficit they were keeping with the rest of the countries, and then apply a reversal ratio to correct that deficit. When this start with it started when he called the day of liberation 2nd of April. On 2nd of April, first of all, we will find out later on the chart that the first effect it was in February when he started to mention this. Market was receiving the news with no so optimistic behavior, right? It was just falling on equity markets, main equity markets, particularly in SP 500 and Nasdaq 100, the ones we're going to analyze later. And on 2nd of April, the whole party started. It was just selling for several days until 3 or 5 of April is when he started to mention also 25% importations on automobiles and auto parts, followed by 10% universal tariff on most important countries. What exactly was the structure of the tariff? It was 10% Vaseline, so universal tariff on nearly all imports of United States to United States, effectively 5 of April. High reciprocal tariffs, that's the ones he mentioned by country. For example, in the case of European Union, it was 36%. It was between 11% to 50% for countries with large U.S. trade deficit. In the case of European Union, it was mainly caused by the deficit generated between Germany and United States. China-specific measures, closure of the minimum exemptions and planning 145% tariffs on China, which it was a massive, and it was the base of the trade war he initiated in 2018. International reactions, global market crash after the announcement of higher country-specific tariffs planned for 9th of April, prompting to 90 days pause for negotiations. We will see the effect of, first of all, clearly, since February when he mentioned for the first time the tariffs, it was a drop on the main markets. Since 2nd of April, the day of liberation, we will see another drop, a strong drop on the equity markets. And since he announced on 9th of April, pause of 90 days, we will see that the market was clearly recovering after that announcement. So that's the whole points on the calendar. April to June, let's say, search fire on the trade war, right? When he paused all the tariffs from April to June, ending by 7th of July, which was when he announced new executive order. Supposedly, the tariff will be back by 9th of July. But he also mentioned since 1st of August, any country who has no deals or whatsoever with United States will face the tariffs, the reciprocal tariffs back. So far, what happens during that period of 90 days he gives has a kind of ceasefire, right? We have seen a new trade deal between United Kingdom and United States, and also between Vietnam and United States. However, we also have seen with China even when it's not exactly a new trade deal, what we have seen, it was reciprocal favors, reciprocal steps to get closer to each other. And what we have seen is also what they call, well, temporary deal with China set to expire on 12th of August. It was based on certain principles, which is the minerals exportation from China to the United States affecting the semiconductors and technological and military defense industry. But from the perspective of United States, the main measures was blocking the exportation of technology to China. It was released, it was lifted under certain conditions. So it was certain steps by Chinese and US economy to get closer to each other, to understand each other, but again, not a full deal. It was something temporarily until 12th of August. So therefore, we got two main dates here on the map for the coming weeks. First of all is the 1st of August, because that day, any country who doesn't have a deal, a clear deal done with United States will face, theoretically, tariffs back, right? And I'm saying theoretically because in theory, we supposed to see that already on 9th of July, and it didn't happen. He postponed again, one more time, the tariff for 1st of August. So again, we will see if this time, 1st of August, is the finally the real deadline for the reciprocal tariffs, giving more chance, more room for countries like Japan, who started like almost a month and a half ago, negotiations for the United States, but it still doesn't have any clear deal closed with them. Certain points, interesting points, most sweeping US tariffs regime since 1930s. The average tariff on United States is now higher than since the Second World War, 1946, I believe. That was the number. Some Chinese goods facing tariffs high has 145%, which is it isn't unsustainable in long term, middle term, long term. It's going to be a disaster for both economy, U.S. economy and Chinese economy, both. So let's see how it's affecting also the chart. Now, what is the TACO effect? TACO is Trump always chicken out. It's something it says now in Wall Street. We have read in a few financial blogs. They mention TACO has TACO. Trump always chicken out in reminiscence of what happens with the 90 days ceasefire, and also the deadline he moved again to 1st of July. It seems that Donald Trump doesn't want to take the step of apply the tariffs because he knows it's going to be a disaster for the global economy and for U.S. economy. Here's when he mentioned the tariffs for the first time, reciprocal tariffs. Here's when he actually put in place. It was dropping, and at this point, he's announced 90 days of pause, which he was recovering the market. Now, at this point is when we see that Wall Street is not believe anymore on S&P 500, the biggest equity index in the world. Obviously, Wall Street trade operators doesn't believe anymore that the tariffs going to be put in place, because otherwise we will see this falling again, and it's not happening. So that is why we are seeing now the TACO filling on Wall Street. Trump always chicken out. He's not going to take the step of apply tariffs this time. Let's see also how it's affecting in terms of S&P 500. You can also see what it seems to be shoulder head shoulder inverted. That could invite a bullish movement to 7,000 points. In that case, means like it will be an agreement between China and United States most likely, and also European Union. It's also causing a very bullish movement in certain index on Europe, like Euro Stocks 550 or DAX 40. Both of them are really bullish, since European Union is discounting a trade deal with United States. We can see also that kind of shape in Nasdaq 100, but it still is not that clear like it is, for example, in Russell 2000. You can see a clear shoulder head shoulder inverter in this chart. This is Russell 2000, and in the case of Nasdaq, technological sector is extremely strong, high, especially after Nvidia reached $4 trillion market capitalization. And in the case of gold, we can also see in gold the movements reflecting also the trade war of Donald Trump. First of all, because we can see that since he mentioned the reciprocal tariffs, gold was rising. By the time he truly applied the tariffs, it was jumping up to the maximums, 3,500. And since then, with the exception of the war between Iran and Israel on Middle East, we was moving the price up. We have seen the gold moving a kind of lateral between $1,500 and $3,200, which is giving us a lateral movement so far in the last couple of months, but also in long term since the beginning of the year is giving us a bullish pattern that, in the case of breaking out about 3,500, could trigger a bullish movement, a bullish trend on gold futures. Okay, I think that's a clear, quick view of what is the situation with the trade war of Donald Trump and tariffs. I hope you enjoyed the video and also you managed to get good inputs for your portfolio. See you in the next coming videos. Take care and remember, subscribe and give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Take care. Bye-bye.